everybody. This is your boy Kima. And I just want to make a couple of announcements first. First announcement is that for a couple of months now, I have been doing the podcast audio only on Anchor, on Anchor.fm. So if you want to see like the old episodes of the Kima Zone, aka the Simple Crypto Show, you can actually get to them there. I'm not going to erase them or get rid of them, but I was thinking that maybe it's about time that I actually do something easier like video, and YouTube is just the medium in order for me to do that. So what I'm going to do is do my podcast and my lessons about crypto on YouTube, on the Kima Zone. And, it's going to be the same format as my podcast. Basically starting off with news, then moving on to other subjects, and then giving my opinion on certain things when it comes to the crypto world as a new investor. So for anybody who is new, my name is Kima Murray, and I am a new crypto investor. Okay, and what I like to do is to try to educate and inform other new crypto users about certain things in the crypto space that may be a little bit ununderstandable. Okay, let's just face it. Sometimes I will look at some YouTube videos on cryptocurrency, and it's over my head. They're talking acronyms, they're talking 15-syllable words. They're not talking in everyday language. So what I decided to do was to get on and give my 2 cents as a new crypto investor on how these guys are actually behaving and how they're giving this information. So I'm kind of like, let me go ahead and do this. So I came up with the Simple Crypto Show, and I did give a lot of useful information, and I still will. Just that I will be doing it in a new format that everybody can get to. Not everybody knew about Anchor. So once again, if you want to see the old episodes of the Simple Crypto Show that I used to flagship this, go to Anchor.fm and just do a search for the Simple Crypto Show by yours truly, and it'll pop up like everything. Also, I want to announce that I am going to get my Zoom lessons together, and that you should utilize it if you're a new investor. If you want to, I will be sending those out email very, very soon. I'm just getting it together. And if you do want to send me an email, maybe you're an expert out there listening to this and you have something to share, I am all ears, because of course I am a new investor myself, so I'm privy to a lot of information. I want to get all of it I can. And my email address is kmurry415@gmail.com. And I will give that in the description right below this little box here. So those are the announcements. Oh, and I'll usually be giving announcements at the first time of my podcast, and we're going to get cracking like right now. So to begin, the biggest news this past couple weeks that I've been absent has been the Ethereum merge. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what this merge is and why everybody is talking about it, it's kind of major. The simple way to actually explain it is, if you know the ins and outs of the blockchain, then you already know this. But for those of you who don't, imagine the blockchain as a hose, okay? And it's a ledger that keeps track of all the transactions on the blockchain, okay? It's what makes Ethereum. But the problem is there were so many transactions going along at one time that it was a little slow going, and you got clogged up in a way in that hose. So one of the blame, there's been speculation to the blame of why uh, those, transactions would be slow, and you would be charged these astronomical gas fees for a transaction. And, one of the blame was that, it just wasn't enough room on the blockchain. And there was another blame that was basically saying that proof of work protocol, in order to verify a transaction, was slow. Okay? It was tiny. And so now you have those things being thrown around, and now they've merged to where instead of a point of work protocol, it's a point of stake protocol. And what that just generally means is that there's going to be more room for transactions. And as for the verification of said transactions, they're using another system to where it's not going to be miners that's in control of the transactions. It's going to be people who validate the transactions. So basically, it's going to go faster. And that is the big news. Everybody was pumping up Ethereum. Get your Ethereum, or when the merge happens, it's going to go up and then you're going to be lost. Well, last week, it happened kind of 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, I think. But, the price of Ethereum really hasn't been affected all too much because certain protocols have not been enacted yet. So you still have time. I mean, Ethereum is a very good cryptocurrency. I mean, I can do a show on that just by itself. But my deal with, the merge is that they hyped it up so badly, or so hugely. And then all of a sudden, nothing happens. So I'm sitting back and I'm wondering what's going on. Now, keep in mind, Ethereum is like Bitcoin Jr. Okay? There is a lot of things that you can do with Ethereum, just like there are a lot of things you can do with Bitcoin. Okay? So I'm not saying that Ethereum is going to go bust anytime soon. It's not. But you do have to watch and look and see how the crypto space is reacting. I mean, on a whole, right now, the market is down. Okay, but that's a good thing for a buyer because you want to buy cheap. Okay, you know good and well what bottoms out has to rise sooner or later. And see, there are two kinds of investors in this world. There are short-term investors and there are long-term investors. Okay, and if you're a long-term investor, you know that whatever it is you buy is going to be in the long run, no matter, how you buy it. Okay. And that's one of the things you have to realize. Okay. But, since the merge happened, now the system hopefully is going to be better, and we'll be getting more news on it, on things as they are enacted. So stay tuned. I'll definitely keep you abreast of what's going on when it comes to that. So the next thing I want to talk about is my investment tip for the week. Okay. Now, I am part of a lot of different investments. Okay, a lot. Whether it comes to just to name a few, We2 token. I got Yeti coin. I have GOPX. That's a new one. I have XRP, excuse me. Everybody, because of the lawsuit, was thinking that was gonna bottom out. Guess what? It's not. So I do have a lot of tokens that I look at. Okay, and the way I look at them is my tip of the week. How do you research for the long haul? And this is only my opinion. Oh, and if I haven't mentioned it, let me mention it now. I am not a financial advisor, okay? I am not an expert in the least. This video that you are watching right now is for education and entertainment uses only. Ding. Anyway, so how do I research as a beginning investor? That's easy. I look at the long haul of any token or any coin that I'm looking at. I like utility tokens. Now, and later on, actually, later on, actually I can say this now. There are two types of tokens, excuse me. A coin is actually a physical manifestation of a digital currency, but a token is an offshoot of a coin. Okay? There are two types of tokens. There are security tokens and there are utility tokens. Once again, there are security tokens and utility tokens. Now, here's the difference between the two. Now, a security token, you can think of that like a stock. Okay? You're buying a share in something. Whether it's a company, whether it's a crypto, whether it's an action, whether it's it could be anything. Okay? But when you buy a share of it, okay, that's where, that's a security token. And those are being traded all the time. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that they're just another kind of another kind of animal. There's a difference between apples and oranges here. Okay? So then you get a utility token. A utility token is kind of what I like to look at because a utility token is used for something. Whether it's a currency, whether it's a program or a connection, whether it's a program that's designed to do something, a token, a utility token, is made to do something. And I like that because in the long haul, you have to be able to utilize that token or else it's going to sit there and do nothing. So one of the things that I like to research when I find out about a new cryptocurrency is to ask myself the question, what is it going to be used for? Okay, what is it going to do? If it's not going to do anything, if it's just made to look pretty, then I don't think it's going to last too long. It's not going to increase in value. But if it's designed to do something, if it's designed for a different, for anything, then I believe that it's much more of a utility. It's much more of a cause. So it's going to increase in value. And as an investor, of course, I'm looking for what they call an ROI. And for those of you who want the full name of the acronym, that is return on investment. If you don't get a return on investment, then there is an issue with that investment. Or else, it shouldn't even be invested upon. Okay? That's just like stocks. Stocks is just the part of an overall company. So, would you invest in that company if it wasn't doing anything? Ask yourself that. It's the same with crypto. Now, granted, there are folks that actually have a hobby of investing in what they call meme tokens, which basically are tokens that are made to be pretty. And that's all they focus on. Whether they go up or down in value is neither here nor there. They do it to collect. And that's fine. That's fine. All as I'm doing is telling you what I do. And try to answer your questions when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to how to research for the long haul, there are a lot of different things I personally use. One such is a program called Coin Codex. And it is a nice little program that basically tells you pretty much a lot of information. It talks about exchanges. It talks about different tokens and coins. It talks about the values of each one. It gives you news. It gives you everything. So I'll put that link in the description below. Matter of fact, while you're looking at me, I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. And that is to put on a link for Coin Codec. Okay, that's one. I mean, people usually use a lot of things. There are a lot of different websites out there when it comes to researching different kinds of tokens. There's PooCoin, there's CoinGecko. There's a lot of them. Okay, and I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's just that you have to do your due diligence. There's that word again, due diligence. I did a podcast talking about what in the world is due diligence. Okay, and I explained exactly what it was. So go check out anchor.fm and go to the Simple Crypto Show. And I'm not sure what the episode is, but I do know that I explain what due diligence means. And I may do that in a future podcast. I don't know. But one of the things, and also, if you do have a question for me or maybe something you want me to discuss on my podcast, just go ahead and email me at kmurry415 at gmail.com. And once again, I will put that link in the box below as well, so that you'll be able to, or just leave me a comment, and I may be able to answer your question on a future episode. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, because this is YouTube, hey, don't forget to hit that like button because it helps me out. And also click the subscribe button. Spread the word that I'm going to be trying to do these at least weekly, so that if you need the information, if you need the interaction, hey, I'm here for you as a new crypto investor myself. Also, keep in mind, sometimes I may go live. And lives are good simply because of the fact that you can interact a little bit more and you can ask me questions in real time. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I may pop on a live just so I can see how everybody is doing in this, in this troubling season. And it is troubling because the market is down. The market is way down. And it looks like, wow, it's going to take a long time to actually come up again. Well, let me tell you, no, it won't. Because I will tell you from experience that the crypto land is very volatile. Okay, at one point it can be down, and at one point there may be certain cryptos that come up. So just be sure that if you want to ask me a question or leave a comment in the comment space below. And if you don't forget to hit that like and hit that subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I have a new podcast come out. So keep that in mind. The last thing I'm going to talk about, because I don't want to take too much of everyone's time, is what I used to do on my podcast over on Anchor is that I used to actually recommend some of the coins that I was really looking at. Okay, and maybe you might want to utilize and get some of them for your own personal portfolio too, or at least to check out. I'm not giving any kind of financial advice, okay? I'm not giving any type of directive. All I'm telling you is what I'm doing, okay? What am I focused on? And I'm focused on a couple of them. One is called the We2 token. Now, just to give you a quick synopsis on what this token is, do a Google search for We2. That's WEETOTWO. Okay, and I'll remember to put that link in the description below as well for that website. But what they are, they're actually kind of cool to me, simply because they're a token that focuses on financing pet operations. So pet health. Everybody has a pet. I used to. I used to have a dog. I used to have a cat. I even had a guinea pig at one point in my life. So, I mean, my pets all died of old age. But let's say if you needed health coverage for them, it can be a pretty penny. I mean, especially if they have something that requires an operation. Well, what We Too does is they help to finance pet operations throughout the country. So that is a very noble purpose, I think. And the coin is dirt cheap. I mean, it's like 9 zeros and then a number. So you can buy billions of these just on a whim. But remember something about these very, very cheap tokens. You will not believe if, let's say, you lost a couple of zeros, how much you will make off some of these tokens. Okay? All you have to do is hold on to them until a couple of zeros fall off, and boop, you've then made a huge profit. Okay? So I want to be sure that, I looked at this and I was kind of like, you know what, let me get a couple thou. It doesn't cost much. So I got some in my portfolio and I'm sitting waiting. Now, granted, the market itself is down. I've said that throughout this entire broadcast. But what you have to understand is that what goes down must come up eventually. Okay? And that way, you will be able to get your adequate return on investment. Okay? So, this first podcast was actually a kind of an experiment. Okay? Because one, I used to basically do audio only, and now I'm experimenting with a couple of software items as well as new hardware to kind of see, how this kind of looks. So let me know what you think in the comments. And I will leave you to your day. I thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my podcast. And just so you know, this is going to be an exciting time for anybody who invests in cryptocurrency. Just do not let bumps in the road stop your progress. Okay? So, with that said, that's the bottom line because Kima said so. I'll see you guys later.